Aloha guys, welcome back to The Art of Beer. I'm Dave Power. I'm with Daniel Bruce, Tim Golden, and Shaun Peck from Paradise Ciders. We're pretty stoked about drinking some ciders today.
Yes.
Also, Dave Newman's over there on the couch. I love this. He can't say anything.
Open some cider. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, Dave.
Cheers.
Shaun, tell us about Laid Back Lilikoi. This is like the first cider you guys came out with,
This
right?
is actually the first cider ever locally produced in Hawaii on the market.
Whoa.
So we actually introduced the Laid Back Lilikoi as our first product coming out in the market, and it was a product that I've been developing in my garage for years actually, and really trying to get the recipe down and exactly how to make it and everything. And we came out with this, and a couple months later, everyone's like, "So what's the next flavor?" It's like, I have to make another flavor. That took years. So this was the beginning of now our huge array of different products that we carry, but this was the first product that we ever hit the market with, and definitely still one of my favorites. It holds true to me.
So when did you start, and what got you into cider?
So cider was actually, I started drinking it maybe about a little over 10 years ago. Beer sometimes made my stomach feel a little bit funky, some beers at least. So I kind of wanted to have something that was a little bit easier to drink, but also reminded me of what it is to grow up here in Hawaii, the flavors that we have here, all the tropical fruit that are growing everywhere. And so I wanted something that was easier to drink. I love IPAs, but go to the beach, you can't really drink a double IPA on the beach, it's not the same thing. I wanted something a little more refreshing and something a little bit, juicier almost. This was before like hazies became really popular and stuff like that. So I was looking for something, I couldn't find it on the market. There wasn't anything really that I was kind of going after on the market. I found a bunch of ciders that were overly sweet. They were loaded up with sugar, and you could drink about 2 of them and your stomach was hurting even worse. And you had like a film on your teeth.
Yeah.
So I went out and tried to create
sweaters.
something. Yeah, I had a background of home brewing beer and wine and stuff like that. So I started looking into how to make cider and found that it was actually a really friendly medium to play with, and that you could really incorporate a lot of local flavors into that medium, which no one had done really yet. So that was the beginning of the company. How we kind of started it was
So you were
around the garage.
Did they call it home brewing, or like how
So
do you home
technically,
cidering? Like
yeah.
what's the term?
That's
there?
the funny thing is everyone says, "Oh, you're a brewer." I'm like, well, technically, I'm
fermenter.
not. I'm a fermenter, but in the cider world, we call it a maker. So I'm a cider maker. Kind of like in a winery, you're not a fermenter. You're not a brewer either.
Right.
You're a winemaker. So we're more close to wine than anything else.
Federally, you're a winemaker.
Technically,
right?
yes. Federally, I'm a winemaker.
Because it's fruit, right?
Yes.
I gotta ask how nerve-wracking it was to jump into making ciders, because especially, I'm born and raised in Hawaii as well, and the only ciders that were ever available were like overly sweet, hard ciders.
Yeah.
Right. So
Strongbow, Angry Orchard.
Strongbow, Angry Orchard.
Right.
So it wasn't like a category that anybody really got excited about.
No.
So for you, you're jumping into a business venture and getting into that. Like, were you like?
So, funny thing to say, the reason that we really started this business was the need for it. And I actually was a bartender at Yard House, and that's my business partner, Casey Solheim, was also a bartender there. And that's how we met. And there we noticed that everyone was coming in and they were asking for a local cider. 130 beers on tap, but people still came in asking for a local cider. And I'm like, well, there is none. And I'd always say the same silly joke to people, trying to make tips. Hey, come to my garage. I'm the only one that locally makes it, But people started being like, so I can come to your garage? Like, can you give me your address? I'm like,
no.
I'm looking for tips here.
Like a weirdo?
But hearing that every day, it's like, okay, there's a need for this product. There's a gap in the alcoholic market in Hawaii. And I tried to find something that I could do to fill it. And this is what we came up with.
And then you fill it with like
Yeah,
the
I love
local
it.
flavors, right? And
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. You want to make it true to Hawaii. I didn't want to do, we didn't come out with an apple cider or a pear cider. Not knocking them, but that's
not our thing.
That's not our thing.
Not our thing.
That's something the mainland.
Sorry, lilikoi, that the passion fruit, that's
Yeah,
a great
this is lilikoi.
jumping
Because that's what
point.
we're drinking, like laid back lilikoi, right?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
Lilikoi.
The actual cider part is really just the backing. It's the alcohol backbone of the
But
product.
originally, this thing was a lilikoi bomb.
It
high
was.
alcohol, right? Like that was
The first
that
keg you got was
right?
10%.
That
yes.
was like a thing, right?
That was killing. And then we learned that, wine actually, or cider stops at 6.9%.
Back off a little bit.
So we're going to take a little break. You guys go grab yourself a cider. Come back and join us at The Art of Beer with Paradise Ciders and Dave Newman back on the couch.
For all your money needs, Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union is here for you. Visit HIFICU.com. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser Digital Full Access subscription for $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHITHING.
All right, we're back on the Art of Beer. We're having some ciders. Dave, Tim, Shaun, and Dave's on the couch, so we're going to give him another one. I'll take this one. Cheers, everyone.
What are we cracking?
Cheers.
We are cracking our guava lava. So this is a mixture of a little pink guava with a little bit of strawberry in the back end. This is one of our lower ABV ones, only 5.2%, but still enough bang to get you.
Is that it?
So this one was actually designed as a dessert beer for the old Real Gastropub. Troy and Lisa asked us to do a dessert round for a beer pairing dinner. So we're pairing our cider with a strawberry guava gelato stuffed malasada. Oh. And I'm sorry, I'm not great at food pairing, but the only thing I could come up with was a guava strawberry cider. But the great thing was I only made one little keg of it, and the keg tapped out in the first 10 minutes we tapped it. So people said, you know what, they liked it. People wanted it, so I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to make more of it. So since then, it's actually been our best-selling product, and this is the one that's pretty much everywhere now.
I tell you, I grew up on the windward side of Oahu, and guava has a special place in my heart for the rest of my life, so I'm okay with guava cider. I mean, that is just, it's, where I grew up, every hillside had guavas. Mm-hmm. So we just went walking through behind my grandmother's house and picking guavas. And so like it's, things like this will tap that nostalgia nerve in my mind, and I will never have a bad guava cider.
So how was it like starting? You know, we've talked to a lot of brewers, and brewing and making ciders, it's kind of similar. You have to ferment something, right?
We're using similar equipment. And
yeah.
The end goal is the same.
What were the challenges, like getting everything started, going, and if like?
Well, really, because no one had done it before, really just the knowledge was hard. There was no one to really, bounce ideas off of besides other breweries. And a lot of the questions or concerns that I would come up with, I'd talk to a brewer about it, and they have no idea because it's nothing what they're doing.
Right.
They're not trying to brew a cider in the tropics.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're mashing malt, right? And like you take apple juice.
I'm taking apple juice, so I'm going straight to ferment, So that's why we're a maker, not a brewer, because we're actually not heating anything up in the beginning. But it was definitely a struggle to figure out how to do it and how to actually scale it up. Going from a 5-gallon carboy to all of a sudden, okay, I got to make a 150-gallon batch of this. Now I got to make a 600-gallon batch. And now I'm doing 80-barrel batches where I'm doing, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 2,400-gallon batches every week. So it's
no pressure.
No pressure to mess it up,
But also to put it in scale, I went to your original facility. You guys didn't have like your own warehouse yourself. You guys were in like a co-op space.
Yeah.
So you had a small room in the back, and you guys were cranking out these big numbers.
Yeah, we still are operating out of the same place. So that original 600 square feet that we had, we've expanded now, and we took over the whole warehouse. So now we have 5,000 square foot. We have our full automated canning operation now going on. I've upgraded all of our tanks from 150-gallon tanks, little 5-barrel tanks, to now we have 520 barrels, and then we also have an 80-barrel. Our plans this year are to expand to at least a couple more 80 barrels to really kind of start.
You guys to a new tap room, though.
Yeah, we just actually opened up our tap room about 3 months ago out in Mililani. So we're super excited to have that open now. We actually have 40 tap handles up there. 38 of them are local. So we try to really strive on, supporting the local community and supporting all the rest of the breweries around here, along with distilleries. So we carry all the local distilled products as well. So a lot of our signature cocktails will use the Old Polly whiskey along with our cider inside of it, and we'll try to do combinations and create new cocktails and new drink experiences, but just using local ingredients.
I like going to the other location as well, though, because you would have food trucks out front.
Yeah.
So you had your tasting room, food trucks, and every now and then you would have the Molokai hot bread guys around there.
So that's actually who we shared the building with.
Exactly. So my wife was always like, yeah, go ahead and drink with your friends, but you're going there, bring bread home. So I was like, all right.
So you got a hall pass as long as you brought
Super easy, $8 hall pass. I mean, come on.
We have a gluten-free product made right next door, a heavy gluten
bread, right?
We have very good sealed containers.
And then on the other side, there was old Triple C.
Cheap rent.
In industrial
area, exactly.
Industrial area.
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but our new spot, we definitely kind of upgraded from a warehouse location to actually in a shopping center now. And that's our goal, is to have a nice place for people to come and enjoy our
But
products.
it's also a great spot. The location, I mean, out where you guys open, there's not a ton of stuff going on. So there's a larger demographic for a smaller amount of people. So
Exactly.
everybody can kind of win with that. So
yeah, so check us out. We got a food truck in the back still, and we're cranking out food and drinks. And
speaking of food and drinks, I mean,
Lots
we got
of
the
cider.
drinks. We need to go get some food. So we're gonna hit a commercial break. Go get a snack. Come on back.
Cheers.
See Dr. Oda at HEC Medical Clinic Honolulu Specialist in laser weight loss. You can see the change losing 1 to 2 inches instantly. Pacific Spray Wash is Oahu's #1 trusted exterior cleaning service. We deliver a spotless job for all your pressure washing, roof cleaning, house washing, and solar panel cleaning.
Haha, right on. Thanks for joining us back in the Art of Beer. We are here with Shaun Peck from Paradise Ciders, and we are going to start cracking some Killer Dragon.
Dave, you need another one?
He needs another one. If you haven't seen Killer Dragon, hold on. Let's show you. Look at that color.
Woo!
Shaun, tell us about Killer Dragon.
Killer Dragon, well.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Dave?
This is one of our prettiest ciders by far.
The sight of this cider sells it.
It does, but the taste hopefully even makes it better. So I started with using the red dragon fruit, or pink dragon fruit, whatever you want to call it. Gives this nice, lovely color. But as a lot of people found out, dragon fruit doesn't really have much of a taste.
No.
It kind of tastes like a bland kiwi.
It's freaking beautiful, though.
Looks great.
But it's pretty.
You know, I don't know. So I actually
Neon
played around
pink.
with a lot of different fruits, and the one fruit I found that pairs really well with dragon fruit, and that a lot of people think of what dragon fruit tastes like, is actually raspberry. So I put a hint of raspberry in this one, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it really tastes like a really strong dragon fruit. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool.
Sure.
Sure, whatever you want to believe, but it's something that your mind kind of plays a trick on.
One other thing with dragon fruit, what most people don't understand is there is an insane amount of dragon fruit on Oahu.
Well, it's pink and white. There's two different types, too.
There's also
There's
yellow.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But there is
Harder to find.
way more, and not just like on a farm. Like there's stuff that's just
All over
Out
the
there.
place.
growing on the side of the freeway. You know, they have there's more dragon fruit than you would ever believe is on Oahu.
Kind of don't taste like much.
No.
The pink stuff lets a lot of color,
Yeah.
which is
But
what you get here.
Beautiful.
It does. It tastes like sort of like neutral tropical fruit.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But with the raspberry influence,
Kind of rounds it out.
the
Yeah.
taste
Matches the
what your
visual.
eyes see, and that's, I mean, if you can do that,
Exactly.
that's
But it's nice. It's like it's neutral. It's dry. It's like, and honestly, we serve this at Village, and a lot of times like you'll pour a pint of this, and it'll walk out, and you see eyes going like, yeah, exactly. Like, they'll like start tracking it. Like,
it's aesthetically beautiful.
like what is that
glass.
neon pinky purple thing? And like, that's Killer Dragon. And then like 3 or 4 more go out.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like Bloody Marys are the same way. Like I don't know an adult human that just eats celery because they like it, but if it's in a
It's in a Bloody
red
Mary?
juice, like Bloody Mary, like I need one of those.
Yeah, I want one of those.
It's also to some effect, it's the Mojito effect, is what I would call
Yeah,
it.
same.
As if somebody at a restaurant at the next table sees somebody get a Mojito, you're like, oh, what is that? And all of a sudden, you're at the bar and your service, well, you haven't made a Mojito in like 2 days, and like 6 in a row pop up. It's because somebody walked through the dining room with a Mojito in their hand and everybody saw it.
Yeah.
No, this thing it's contagious.
So how did you guys come up with these flavor combinations?
It really is just playing around. That's kind of the joy I get out of making cider, is that you get to come up with all these really cool creations and all these different flavor combinations, and a lot of just trial and error, really. And people bringing in fruit from their backyards. People will bring me buckets of fruit that just have excess fruit in their backyard, and they're like, it's gonna rot, so here, you wanna take it, create something out of it? So, I mean, everything from like star fruit to rambutan to, you know, anything. So all kinds of funky flavors, and that's what's kind of cool about cider, is that it's such an easy, playful medium that you can introduce all these different flavors, and it's not gonna just tastes really weird.
It doesn't have to be the picture perfect fruit either, because they take all the beautiful stuff and take it to the farmer's market, but they're like, oh, this one has a little weird curvature or a bruise to it. I can't do anything with it.
Well, you're not selling that fruit,
but
right?
you can juice it and get all the great qualities from it without it.
That and a lot of fruit actually gets overripe to sell. So it's perfect for us because it's at its peak ripeness. But for a lot of other places,
You get all the flavor.
Yeah, they need to have it be able to sit on a shelf for a week without going bad. I need it for a day.
So, like, how did you guys figure out, like, what combination? So, like, you had raspberry, dragon fruit, guava, strawberry.
Right. So the guava and strawberry, like I said, was from the gelato, and I wanted to pair it with that to kind of create that flavor. This one, I did dragon fruit and strawberry. I did a dragon fruit and all these other combinations to try and figure out what the dragon fruit really paired with.
Well, we're gonna keep tasting some more Paradise Ciders. We're gonna also get into some hard seltzers, which use more local fruit ingredients. Come back, tune in. We'll be right back with some more Paradise Ciders.
For all your money needs, Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union is here for you. Visit hificu.com. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser digital full access subscription for $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHITHING.
Welcome back to the Art of Cider. We're with Shaun Peck from Paradise Ciders, talking about cider, talking about local flavors, talking about amazing things happening that are gluten-free on
Toss
Oahu.
Dave a beer.
Dave needs another cider.
Cider.
I flipped it again.
That's Dave Newman
Yeah.
from Pint Jigger. What are we drinking now, Shaun?
Some cider.
Our next cider is our Kick It Ginger.
Kick it ginger.
So this one we make with some local ginger,
Tell
a
us
little
about
bit of
this one.
lemon, and then a little bit of organic blue agave.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Hey, give me that. It is.
So this is for the ginger lovers, but also someone would like something nice and easy to drink, but not too overpowering in the ginger flavor.
Do you like sushi?
I love sushi, and this is a
Then
great
yes.
pair for sushi. Anytime you're eating sushi, this
Some
is a great
hamachi
thing to
and
go
some
along
ginger cider.
Oh my
That
God.
could-
with.
Yeah.
Cleans your palate right up. It's great in between courses as well.
If you're the person who like me, who eats all the sushi, all the ginger off the the sushi tray, that's your thing, because that's what I do. Like, I annihilate all the ginger off of it. And this.
Well, they say it's a palate cleanser, but I always go for like a second helping of that.
Oh
You know?
Yeah.
This
No, it's
is
delicious.
right
Local ginger, hand process all of it myself, and then we actually do a little bit of lemon and a little bit of agave to kind of give it a kind of little sweetness to it.
So how do you take all that ginger and process it down to get it into this? cider?
I literally hand cut it by hand.
Do you leave the skins on?
No.
Okay,
I take the
'cause
skin off.
it's
There
a
is a
big thing.
flavor difference when you keep the skin on.
Dave and I will attest to it. When you work with ginger towards making cocktails and things, if you want to have like a woody, earthy smell, you leave the skin on the ginger.
Correct.
But if you want to get down to that crisp, tart ginger, almost a spice, you can call it, I guess. But you get rid of the skin. There's two completely different products
Yep.
in one.
Yeah,
Whether
so
it
you
has skin
take
on or
all that
skin
off.
We take all this. So actually, I kind of almost boil the ginger first to get the skin a little bit loose, and then the skin will come off pretty easily. And then I hand cut up all the ginger up and dice it into very fine little pieces.
Tedious.
How long does that take to do that?
Ginger will usually, for a batch of this, which I usually do about a 20-barrel batch of it, it'll take me a whole day of just cutting ginger.
The entire day.
Entire day, yeah.
That's like
Instead of
we
cutting
talk to
on,
brewers all the time. Like no one would take a day to process their barley. That's an incredibly handmade product.
It is, and all of our products are made like that. So it takes a lot of time, but the finished product, you can taste it.
Tastes pretty, yeah.
As if you were to use, I've even had places like Govinda's press fresh ginger juice for me, and I've tried to use that. I've gotten, diced up ginger from other places where they process it themselves. Doesn't create the same flavor.
Ginger is so volatile.
Yeah.
Like even making syrups, like you maybe get a second day out of it, you'll never get a third day. Like if you're just taking ginger.
Also,
and sugar.
when you dive into it, there's more than just one ginger. There's ginger, there's white ginger,
So many different varieties, yeah.
There's different types of ginger, and they all have very distinct flavor characteristics. So if you using one and think it's another, you're going to get it with a different end result.
So this ginger is actually from the Big Island that I'm using in this batch right now.
Wow. And do you find like different ginger grown in different areas tastes differently?
Definitely does.
Really?
I have a couple friends that grow ginger in their backyard, and I'll try that, and then I'll try another one from maybe the other side of the island, and they say it's the same variety, but it definitely has a different taste. So the soil definitely can make a difference.
There's a terroir to it. Oh, man,
And also how long you leave it in the ground.
So is there-
Just like turmeric, if you were to leave turmeric in the
Yeah.
ground longer than 2 years, it has a lot more
It's
medicinal
way
and
more
health
earthy.
properties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way that then you kind of have to blend characteristics and flavors to consistently have like that product? Or?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of tasting, but it's also the knowledge of after you make it a couple times, you start realizing, okay, if this ginger's got this characteristic, I'm gonna have to add maybe a little bit more agave to balance it out. If it's a little bit spicier than maybe the last batch, or maybe it needs a little bit more lemon to kind of cut that bite. But just finding those balances, yeah, it's. I mean, I do it literally to taste.
Are you able to find a lot of all the ginger here?
Yeah.
In Hawaii?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been actually, ginger's very, very bountiful here. It's very
cool.
easy to get ginger, and it's actually cheaper to buy local ginger than to buy ginger from somewhere else.
It grows rampant on the windward side.
Yeah.
If you talk to the farmers on the windward side, they all have
Yeah,
tons
right,
of
ginger.
ginger.
And you go to Whole Foods in LA, and it's all from here. Like I know farmers on Kauai that their whole harvest
Just goes
just
to
goes
mainland.
to LA.
Yeah.
And it's like 8 stores. It's crazy.
I like that. So it's so easy to think about ciders that you want to head towards that sweet direction, right? Lilikoi, mango, dragon fruit, all this. But you were aware enough to say we need to have something for those people that like that tart,
Different kind of bite to it.
And this is
Yeah.
this is a great tasting cider. We need to keep talking about this. We're done for our TV segment. We're going to head over to YouTube. There's a whole extended another 10 minutes or so. Join us over there with Shaun Peck from Paradise Ciders, and we'll see you on the other side.
Art of Beer extended edition time. Sean's here. Dave, Tim, Dave Newman's still here.
Oh!
We're drinking ciders. We're drinking seltzers. Cheers, everyone.
Oh, that was a. So what do we got here?
Awesome. So these are actually our 3 hard seltzers that we came out with. We kind of noticed that there was a hard seltzer craze going on in this country. So we decided to jump in.
Really?
They were pretty popular. They still are. So we decided to make our own twist and spin on a hard seltzer using local ingredients. And actually, I don't carbonate them quite as high as most seltzers seem to be on the market. So the first one right here is our mango and lihimui. So using local mangoes, and then we actually
What
use
is lihimui?
Lihimui is actually
love that
a product that we got specifically made for this. So it's actually a local company that makes it for us. It's called Ono Pops. They make an all-natural lihimui that has no
Ono Pops
aspartame
are
and no
great.
food coloring. So this is an all-natural lihimui that we created, myself and Ono Pops, that is very pure and simple. So there's no crap in the product, you could say.
No
There's no
aspartame.
aspartame and no food coloring, which is in pretty much every lihimui you're going to find.
good.
This is natural plum powder, a little bit of licorice, a little bit of Chinese 5-spice, a little bit of sugar, and then it's got a little bit of ascorbic acid in it, vitamin C.
Well, Lihimui's got a special part in my heart. I mean, I'm born and raised here, and this is one of those snacks you look forward to. So, I mean, anytime anybody puts in a product, I'm automatically
Gonna try it.
interested. I was like, I'm going to try it.
And that's the same thing
good.
with me, is I like to put lihimui on everything.
Yep.
Got a pineapple, I'm going to put some lihimui on that thing first. Got a piece of apple, put some
Green
pineapple.
apple.
Green apple's really
Green
good.
apple is the best.
Green apple.
And it was a no-brainer with the mango. I was like, okay, I'm gonna create a mango. Yeah, I want to put lihimui on it. I did not overly put lihimui in this, I would say. So some people, when they drink the first sip, they're like, it's not that much lihimui. I'm like, give it a second. Keep drinking it. By the
It's
time you
subtle.
finish the
It
whole
rolls
can,
in, though.
your mouth is gonna have lihimui all over it. But a lot of people are used to that aspartame finish that they
heavy.
instantly want.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And so they think that is the lihimui they're tasting. And so unfortunately, that's what a lot of people are used to, is that aspartame finish. So this doesn't have that aspartame finish, but you still, after you drink that whole can, you're gonna have a nice lihimui taste throughout your whole palate.
This is not for me for the nostalgia part of it. I mean, I'm just knowing that I like mangoes, I like lihimui. I will.
How do you get the mango in there?
The mango, just real mangoes. Dice them up, cut them up, blend them up. You got a nice
Toss 'em
mango
in?
puree, toss it in there. Actually blend the mangoes with the lihimui powder to create a mango lihimui puree pretty much. And then I add that in. It creates a nice flavor, and You can't go wrong with blending the two together.
I mean, seems to be a common theme with everything we talk about. The amount of prep work you guys put into it. So when people put that kind of effort into establishing the flavors that they want, you know that there's love behind it. And that's one of the things I look for in products is like, not just what did they accomplish, but how did they get there?
Right.
And you guys are putting tons of manual labor into your flavors.
Well, it's
And
experimentation and like trying things and seeing what ingredients work,
Right.
how much of them work, like trying like, does this have aspartame? Does it not? Like,
Right.
how much works in
Because
there?
I fooled around with other lihimuis.
Right.
You know, I definitely played around with it and tried to.
Because
make
there's a ton of
products.
them, right?
Yeah, there's so many out there. But creating my own lihimui, that was the coolest thing. To be able to be like, no one else can really copy this because I came up with the blend with Onopops. You know, so we created something together, which is really cool.
And then you have 2 other flavors.
We did,
right?
yeah. So we actually have this next one's our Mojito. So this one's very simple and basic. It is local lime, mint, and that's it.
Cheers. Newman, how you doing over there?
This is amazing. The Mojito's the champ.
So it's a super simple process.
Oh, that's minty.
Where yes, so we're taking local mint. It's actually grown in Manoa. It's a special variety of mint called a Mojito mint. So I messed around with spearmint, regular mint. There's chocolate mint. There's so many different kinds of mints out there that you can experiment with.
Right.
This farmer had this mint. He's like, yeah, it's actually called Mojito mint. I was like, oh, no way. Bring me some in. Let me try it out.
Really? Mojito
Yeah,
mint?
really. So I tried it. I was like, whoa, the flavor is just so much different.
It almost starts off like it's spearmint,
Right,
but it doesn't
yeah.
have that sweet, sugary finish. Like spearmint.
Yeah.
So it does.
It reminds
go
you
down
of
a savory road, but
Yeah. It's a little bit
very
different.
minty.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, this is a great. It's actually a great cocktail mixer as well. You know, if you want to boost it up a little bit, put a shot of rum in there, whatever you want to do. It's also good if you add a little bit of fruit to it. So this is just our basic regular Mojito flavor, but you could add a little bit of lilikoi puree to it or mango or whatever you like, really, and it creates a whole nother drink.
How do you get so much flavor? I mean, that's really minty. Like, there's a lot of mint.
So with the mint, I actually take the mint and I wash the mint down. I use a ton of mint, and we're talking buckets and
You
buckets of
stem
mint.
though, right? Or you?
I do take the stems and I actually blend it all up. So I use like a giant macerator and just blend the mint as much as I can. And then I'm introducing the lime at the same point. So the mint and the lime is actually getting macerated almost together. And that really soaks in the flavor. So when you add that to the seltzer, when you're brewing it, when you're making it, the flavors really translate really nicely.
Because I mean, it is minty, but like in a great way.
But not sweet, like minty,
Yeah,
but
no.
the
That's
flavor
the one
of the mint
thing
that you like.
Yeah, a lot of people that do drink mojitos regularly, there is a lot of sugar in mojitos. You know,
Yeah.
that's one of the main.
that's the point of it.
You know,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to stray too far away with making it so dry that it's like not friendly to the people that really like mojitos, because those are probably the people that are going to pull it off the shelf.
Right.
But I also wanted to be like, okay, I don't want a sugar bomb either. You know, I'm not
That's
adding
what
sugar
your
to
experience
this.
as
Yeah.
a bartender at Yard House. Right? Like you said, you had
Exactly.
1,000 people roll together a day. Like you know.
You start to figure out these combinations that people are enjoying and what flavors people like, and mojitos sell like wildfire. You know, like you said, when you see a mojito going through the restaurant,
6 more.
Yes.
okay.
Like, we'll take
and
a
as a
round of
bartender,
those.
I hated making mojitos.
I'll crack one of these all day.
Yeah,
but
compared to
this-
making a
lot
mojito.
easier.
That being said, let's move from mojito. Let's get into
Yeah.
these grapefruit.
So grapefruit, it's kind of funny. Is a lot of people are kind of curious why I made a grapefruit. It's kind of a weird flavor to make. But there is actually a lot of local grapefruit here.
Oh, it's tons.
So this is all, I actually hand pressed and juiced all the grapefruit in this.
Really?
And then I took the actual rinds of it and added the rinds in at the very end, kind of like dry hopping it almost with the rinds to really get that bitter kind of taste that you're looking
The
for.
other people
with the
don't like
grapefruit.
about local grapefruit is it's ugly.
Oh yeah.
It's not that aesthetic pink kind of orangish that mainline grapefruit is. Local grapefruit has great flavor, but it doesn't have any of the look to it.
No, because it doesn't turn pink.
Right.
And then it turns
It's
brown.
not cold enough.
Yeah.
So local grapefruit doesn't look good, but the flavor is on point.
But you made this great looking logo to go with that grapefruit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
These are really sexy. This is
A lot of local fruit doesn't look good, but like, you're not going to buy it in a supermarket, but it's still perfectly fine.
Exactly. So someone's got to use it. We don't want all this fruit on the islands to go to waste.
Right.
So let's use it. Let's turn it into some booze and drink it.
Booze and drinking is what we do here, and we're glad that you came by and did a little bit of with us. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. We're going to get out of here for the art of beer. Thank you for everyone for joining us.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
Shaun,
See you
pleasure,
again.
brother.